The African Union urges member countries to order for COVID-19 vaccines. Gambia's Financial and Tax Reporters Association meet to validate its 2021 activities report. And Tunisian authorities said to launch 5G network project to improve the country's telecom industry. Well, these and more coming your way on The World Today. Hello, this is Africa TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin. I am Amadou Kante. Many thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. Now, the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the African Union are stepping up efforts to acquire COVID-19 vaccines for the African continent. More than 2 million doses of coronavirus vaccines will be purchased and distributed, and distribution would be done based on orders for the member countries, according to the officials of the Africa CDC. The World Bank is also allocating additional funding to help member countries get access to the rollout COVID-19 vaccines. Here are more details of that in this report.
The African Union is aiming to immunize at least 60% of the continent's population against COVID-19 in order to achieve herd immunity. 270 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines will be bought from 3 manufacturers, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson. The first batch of 50 million will arrive between April and June this year.
Countries should now take on this. At least the ball is in the camp of the countries to engage and start placing their orders, okay, so that we can actually know the volumes that have been pre-ordered, and then the Afro-Exim Bank can engage with this, the manufacturers, and do the payments.
Afrexim Bank will make an advance commitment of up to $2 billion to the manufacturers on behalf of the countries. Individual countries will then agree with Afrexim Bank on how to pay back for what they have ordered, either through their own resources or through a payment facility that will have them spread out installments over 5 years. The World Bank is also offering about $5 billion either for countries to buy more vaccines or pay for delivery of vaccines committed by Afrexim Bank. The Africa CDC says this should help countries prepare for vaccine rollout.
Especially also given that the World Bank is talking to countries and making available resources to be used for vaccination and not just procurement of vaccines. So the opportunities are out there for this accelerated preparedness to occur. It shouldn't be a complex exercise at all. I think if you remove the whole thinking of ultra coaching, which I don't think I subscribe to that, then it becomes a logistic arrangement that is very, very within reach of our capabilities as a continent.
Distribution of the acquired vaccines will be highly dependent on individual member states, but guided by a strategy from the Africa CDC.
We need to also factor the fact that 80% of our economy is informal, and say, okay, how do we expand these vaccines to the informal sector, like the young people that are out there hustling to earn $1 or $2 a day, and with all the motorbikes, the bus drivers and others. So that's why the community engagement component is so important, so that the vaccines become available and there's also willingness to uptake those vaccines.
This new acquisition complements the approximately 600 million doses the continent will receive from the COVAX facility. The global scheme aims to immunize 20% of the continent's population. And while Africa has not yet secured enough vaccine supply to cover its 60% immunization target, the journey towards mass inoculation is getting underway.
CDC and the African Union working on to get COVID-19 vaccines for the African countries. And from the report, we come back home because Gambians have reacted to the announcement by the Minister of Health that the new UK variant has been discovered in the Gambia. Speaking to Africa TV on Saturday, some business owners expressed their concern, saying the country is not ready for another lockdown. Fatmat Kasim has more details of that in this report.
The Gambia government last year imposed that restrictions included nightly curfew to limit the spread of the novel coronavirus pandemic in the country. Like in many countries, the decision affected many sectors, including businesses, as the movement of people, goods and services were all limited to curtail the rapid spread of the virus. With the confirmation of the UK variant in the Gambia, many worried as to whether the government could reintroduce similar measures. Omar Kamara, a market vendor at Serekunda Market, said the COVID-19 is a global menace, but another state of public emergency will further hamper their businesses, saying that the emergency regulation will restrict their movement and affect their source of income. Kamara said most of Gambians live from hand to mouth, and another state of public emergency will affect a lot of families.
Pandemic is a global issue.
If the government imposes another state of public emergency, they will only restrict our movement and our source of income. We have seen the previous state of public emergency and how it affected a lot of people. Also, a lot of people did not benefit from the COVID funds even after being told to sit at home for months. And 90% of Gambian population live from hand to mouth.
Another businessman, Alhaji Ibrahim Jaite, warns that the country is not ready to face another state of public emergency. He said the government should initiate a supporting program for the citizens before imposing another state of emergency.
A lockdown, if you create it in this country, you are going to bring problem.
If they put another state of public emergency in this country, they only bring problems to the country. Even without the state of public emergency, life is not easy, let alone bring another state of public emergency. The government should consider the less privileged people, because most people working in the government are having millions in their accounts. Even if they don't work, they can still survive. But we are working basically from hand to mouth. What we work for is what we take and eat with our families.
Mahmoud Baji, a driver, observed that the state of public emergency will not be ideal, especially with the curfew. He said a lot of people could be affected in different ways, and it might even lead to loss of lives.
Lockdowns are crazy issues. God knows. I lost my brother due to the curfew. He was coming from Banjul and running at a speed due to the time pressure. He did not want the time to meet him outside, and it was also raining on that day. The only thing the government should do is ban public gathering, but having a lockdown with time frames could lead to loss of lives. The last lockdown claimed a lot of lives, so the government should look at what will favor its citizens and not what favors only the government.
Large-scale physical distancing measures and movement restrictions, often referred to as lockdowns, can slow COVID-19 transmission by limiting contact between people. However, these measures can have a profound negative impact on individuals, community, and society by bringing social and economic life to a near stop. The new COVID-19 variant found in the Gambia has been also confirmed in different countries in Africa. Authorities said they have outlined contingency plans to deal with a second wave in the Gambia. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatoumata Kassim.
And from the report there by Fatoumata Kassim, next to Tunisia. Now, in a bid to improve the country's telecom industry and job creation, Tunisian authorities are close to roll out the 5G facility in the country. The Chinese network firm Huawei is supporting the initiative to enable the North African nation implement the 5G network project. Authorities say the new initiative could help the country's economy and the rest of the continent. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Karim Mahrez is a senior consultant and a successful ICT entrepreneur in Tunisia and Africa. He says that 5G's industrial applications will bring revolutionary change and will form the backbone of future economic advancement and public services.
La 5G est une vraie opportunité.
5G is a real opportunity because it will create some 22 million new jobs by 2030. It will create $13 trillion of growth and new projects. We must understand that 5G is not like the evolution of the mobile phone from 3G to 5G. 5G is some 1 million IoT per square kilometer. 5G is the 4.0 industry, drones, digital art, connected schools with robots. 5G is also telesurgery.
C'est la téléchirurgie.
Tunisia's telecoms minister had earlier said licenses suitable for the next generation of mobile broadband services could be awarded this year. The Netcom Tunisia chief executive says 5G will offer an opportunity for developing countries to boost their economies and create new jobs in new sectors. He asserts that China's Huawei is the world leader in this technology.
Huawei does not only offer this possibility of 5G infrastructure with the Internet of Things and industry-related services, it's more than that. Huawei also provides the layers above, like artificial intelligence, as well as data and privacy protection. I'm sure that many decision makers in African and developing countries are smart enough to deploy and use Chinese networks and artificial intelligence than any other competitors.
Huawei Northern Africa's vice president in charge of public relations for the Mediterranean region, Adnan Ben Halima, explains that the Chinese company is willing to install 5G technology that will help Tunisia and the world.
5G technology now is a new trend of technologies. I think it will play a very important role for the future to develop new services and provide new connectivity. We are really eager to deploy this technology in Tunisia and also in other countries in this region.
In December 2020, Tunisia Telecom carried out the first test call, which showed a speed of connections to the 5G mobile network exceeding 2.2 gigabytes per second. This 5G mobile test call was made with a smartphone and a modem, using the telecom company's live network.
According to the ICT Ministry, Tunisia's telecoms regulators launched a feasibility study of 5G. The licenses suitable for the next generation of mobile broadband services could be awarded in 2021. Experts assert that 5G networks will change several industries.
And from the report there, now we come back home. Now, in a bid to raise public awareness on tax compliance and financial discipline in the Gambia, the network of Gambia's Financial and Tax Reporters chapter validated its 2021 draft activities report. The association aims to promote tax compliance and help authorities to generate more income. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The network of Gambia's Financial and Tax Reporters chapter, in collaboration with the Gambia Bankers Association, on Saturday validated the association's 2021 draft activities report. Since its formation in 2019, the NFTR Gambia chapter has successfully implemented major programs with the aim to improve revenue mobilization for the government and raise public awareness for tax compliance in the country. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Abdullah Nyoke, president of the Financial Tax Reporters chapter, commended their partners for empowering the association's program. Nyoke also highlighted some of the association's strategic action plan for the year 2021.
Activities 1. Training of 30 editors, head of radio station and online media network on new revenue laws and trade barriers. Activities 2. Public-private sector media engagement dialogue forum on tax compliance. Activities 3. Training of 40 business and finance female journalists on business management plans and tax compliance. We have activities 4. Training of 30 NFT members and committee radios on free movement of goods and people in the sub-region.
The acting deputy director of compliance and taxpayers education of the Gambia Revenue Authority lauded the role of the media in helping the public to understand the mandate of the GRA and the benefits for paying tax.
Considering the important role the media play in our society, the GRA is very much appreciative to partner and continue to partner with this network to make sure that people understand the mandate of the GRA and also our business processes and procedures. We also need to understand the Gambian tax systems and the various types of taxes that exist in the country. We believe that if you are very much au fait and conversant with these things, with these issues mentioned, you will be able to report accurately. Also, you'll be able to inform taxpayers to be tax compliant and also to understand why they need to pay these taxes, where these taxes are going to, and how it is paid.
The acting executive secretary of the Gambia Bankers Association, Alaji Jang, also renewed his association's commitment to partner with the NFTR chapter with the view to help upgrade the capacity of their members.
With your activities, we will partner with you and support you, especially in trainings. Because currently we have what we call the Institute of Bankers of the Gambia, which we are training bankers and the public. With that, we will try to link you with the Institute so that in your upcoming events, we try to see how to train you on financial reporting. Because I always say reporting is very, very important. When you are reporting, it has to be something factual and something actual. So you cannot just report just because I want to be a report. Whatever you want to say, it has to be something real.
The consultative forum availed the participants the opportunity to know the association's programs and activities as highlighted in the report for the next 12 months. With the support from their development partners, including the Gambia Revenue Authorities, the NFTR Gambia chapter intends to widen their activities to promote public tax compliance in the country.
And from the report there, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining of this story. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any Africell customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and once again, many thanks for joining us. And you are watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV. Now, the International Monetary Fund on Friday approved $28.8 million worth over $1 billion disbursement fund for the Gambia government from its special drawing right account. The IMF Executive Board completes first review of Gambia's performance under the Extended Credit Facility (ECF) arrangement with an approval for the disbursement of money to the Gambia government. Omar Ahmad Toure has more details of that in this report.
The IMF, through the Extended Credit Facility (ECF), will make an immediate disbursement of $28.8 million from its total access of $47.1 million approved for the Gambia in March 2020. The decision reached will allow disbursement of the money to the Gambia to help meet the country's balance of payments and fiscal financing needs and support the post-pandemic recovery. Reflecting on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, growth in 2020 was estimated at about 0%. However, the country's growth is now expected to rebound to 6.0% in 2021. IMF said it is content with economic management and advanced structural reforms of Gambian authorities, including governance, transparency in the use of funds, and effective delivery in public services. The IMF board also completed a financing assurances review and granted a waiver of non-observance of a continuous quantitative performance criterion relating to a zero ceiling on the accumulation of external payment arrears. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Gambia has also benefited from an IMF Rapid Credit Facility disbursement of $21.3 million at the time of approval and is receiving debt service relief from the IMF under the Catastrophe Containment and Relief Trust, expected to total about $5.8 million, which has already been approved.
Report was filed in there by Omar Ahmad Toure. And now finally to Nemori, Senegal, where the outbreak of the H5N1 bird flu that hit the country have left workers at some poultry farms worried of the situation. The West African country is also battling against the coronavirus pandemic, with cases rapidly increasing in different parts of the country. Authorities are outlining measures to contain the situation. Here are more details of that in this report.
The outbreak of the H5N1 bird flu was first reported on a poultry farm. Senegal's veterinary services report over half the birds were killed out of a flock of 100,000. This comes as the country is dealing with the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
A health response is needed at this time to prevent the disease from spreading. I think that economically, the disease could put the poultry sector at risk, especially as the sector is already hard hit by the COVID-19 crisis.
The outbreak was first discovered in Chess, a region east of the capital Dakar. Officials are still investigating its origins. Those working at poultry farms in the meantime are trying their best to mitigate the damage.
We disinfect all persons and vehicles that need to enter our premises. For the time being, we have suspended all foreign visits until further notice. We have also closed all ventilation ducts on our site to prevent any air that might be contaminated from entering.
Infections in humans usually occurs when one has come in close contact with the infected birds or environments contaminated with H5N1. Human-to-human transmission is still rare, though the disease, according to the WHO, has a mortality rate of around 60%.
And that report there from Dakar, Senegal, finally brings this news bulletin to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, you can log on to our website on africa.tv. But for now, though, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and bye for now.